Perfect photos are nice, but what about imperfect photos with perfect stories? Well, that was my approach for these 252 frames challenges. Hi Aisha and Through the Looking Glass.
Tonight, I'm back on my film photo. It's quite nice. The challenge, like you will probably know by now, is high ISO, and the film is 3200. So it was actually waiting for this opportunity. And what I'm after tonight isn't actually the perfect photo. High ISO is never perfect. It's grainy and it is rough and not perfect at all. But what I would like to capture tonight is a story and a feeling, a lot more than a perfect photo.
I loaded up Ilford Delta 3200, one of the fastest black and white films you can get, perfect for pushing handheld shots at dark.
So I'm close to the Grand Souk for my photo walk. It's quite a hot and humid evening, very hazy. I think I'm one of the worst street photographers, and what I'm lacking is that it feels like I'm invading people's personal space. And that's what makes a good street photographer a good street photographer. In Dubai, this is kind of frowned upon, so I try to respect where I can. I usually take from behind if possible, or just a silhouette to respect their privacy. But it's not my favorite genre to shoot, in all honesty. I think one of my biggest challenges tonight is going to be dynamic range, because I'm relying on the camera's light reader, but there are very bright spots like that shot there, and then obviously it is turning to night.
My submission was a simple moment, a kid, dinner and a cat. The grain adds not just texture but feeling, the kind of imperfect atmosphere that a clean, polished image wouldn't have captured. In this setting, the rawness feels honest, and that's part of why I love film. It lets imperfections serve the story.
I kind of dreaded coming out tonight. I saw that the temperature started rising again, and I must be honest, it is a bit toasty. I think you might see my little glaze. But in the end, this is actually really nice.
Reviewing the full roll later, I realized another thing about shooting film. There's no metadata to fall back on. Next time, I'm bringing a tiny notebook. For 52 frames through the Looking Glass challenge, which felt like a complete shift. I stayed indoors but still chased an imperfect kind of story. I experimented with two tools, my everyday glasses and a tiny pocket mirror. The glasses would blur the edges of the scene naturally, while the mirror let me create reflections and layers I couldn't otherwise capture in camera. The mirror shots had nice layers, reflections, even interesting light. But none of them really told a clear story. They looked cool, but they lacked that focused, intentional narrative I was searching for. This was my final result. The blur isn't a flaw, it helps strip away the distractions. By focusing through the glasses, I chose to center on what matters while letting everything else fade away. Technically imperfect, but exactly the story I wanted to tell. 2 weeks, 2 very different vibes. Imperfect photos? Maybe. But the stories they hold, that's why I keep picking up my camera. And if you want to see where these stories lead next, don't forget to subscribe. Next up, I headed out with my macro lens. But let's just say, not everything went according to plan. Security guards, wrong lenses, and a second location that saved the day.